Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Level Up podcast. I'm James, and I'm so happy to have you here today.
And I'm Emily. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode. Today, we are recording episode 19, and we're really excited about the topic because it's something almost every English learner struggles with.
Before we jump into that, let's take a quick moment for some important reminders. If you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us out. And of course, make sure to subscribe to the English Level Up podcast channel so you don't miss any of our daily episodes.
Right. And also, we have a special document that you can download for free. It's basically your complete starter pack. It gives you all of the bases you need to quickly start speaking English, plus a step-by-step unbeatable schedule that will help you stay consistent.
Exactly. Think of it as your personal roadmap. If you listen to this podcast every morning and you follow that schedule for 3 to 6 months, you will see a visible improvement in your English. Not just in understanding, but also in confidence when speaking.
Yeah, it's all about building small daily habits. Listening in the morning sets your brain in English mode for the rest of the day. I laugh softly. It's kind of like brushing your teeth, but for your language skills.
I like that.
So again, subscribe, like, and download that document. It's linked below. All right, today's episode, number 19, is all about something many learners do without even realizing: translating word for word.
Yes, the title is Don't Translate Word for Word. And don't worry, we're not going to make this sound like a boring grammar lesson. We're going to keep it practical, real, and fun.
We'll share examples, little stories, and some challenges you can try in your own practice. And of course, at the end, we'll review some useful vocabulary that we use along the way.
So, let's dive right in. Episode 19, Don't Translate Word for Word. So, Emily, let's start with the big question. Why is translating word for word a problem?
Well, when you translate word for word, you're basically taking your language and just swapping each word with the English version. But languages don't work that way. Every language has its own logic, its own rhythm, its own way of putting words together.
Exactly. And that's why sometimes when people translate literally, the sentence is technically understandable, but it sounds weird.
Yes, so weird. Like, I remember when I was teaching a student who spoke French. He wanted to say, "I miss you." But in French, the structure is different. So he literally translated it and said, "You are missing to me."
Yes, I've heard that many times. And you know, it's cute because we understand what they mean, but a native speaker never says that. They just say, "I miss you."
Right. And the problem is, if you keep translating word for word, you'll always sound a little bit unnatural. And worse, sometimes the meaning changes completely.
Yeah. And let me give you an example from Spanish. A student once wanted to say, "I'm embarrassed." But in Spanish, the direct translation of "I'm embarrassed" would actually mean "I'm pregnant."
Oh no, that's dangerous. Imagine saying that in the wrong situation.
Exactly. That's why learning expressions, chunks, and phrases is so important.
Yes, because languages are full of expressions that can't be translated literally. Like, think about "it's raining cats and dogs." If you translate that word by word into another language, people will think animals are falling from the sky.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Dogs and cats dropping from the clouds. That's the point. You need to learn the meaning, not just the words.
And honestly, it's more fun to learn English this way. When you stop translating word for word, you start thinking in English.
And that's where fluency begins, when you no longer need to go through your native language first.
Exactly. Do you remember the first time you realized you were thinking in another language?
Oh, yeah. It was when I was learning Italian. I was in Rome and I ordered a coffee without translating in my head. I just said it directly in Italian. Afterward, I thought, wait, I didn't use English to prepare that sentence.
That's the best feeling, right? It's like a breakthrough moment.
Absolutely. And for our listeners, that can happen for you too if you stop depending on word-for-word translation.
So, James, maybe we can share some tips to help them avoid this trap?
Sure. First tip, learn phrases, not single words.
Yes. For example, instead of just memorizing the word time, learn take your time, on time, it's about time, waste time. That way you know how the word really lives in the language.
Exactly. Second tip, notice how native speakers actually say things. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's completely different from your language. Like in English, we say, I'm hungry. But in some languages, they say, I have hunger.
Right. And if you translate directly, you'll say, I have hunger, which sounds strange.
Third tip, accept that English is different. Don't fight it. Smile at the differences, even laugh at them.
Yeah, have fun with it. Like, when you hear an expression that sounds silly, just enjoy it. That makes it easier to remember.
Exactly.
You know, another trick is shadowing. When you listen to English and repeat immediately without thinking too much, your brain starts copying the structures automatically.
Oh, good point. That really reduces the temptation to translate.
So basically, don't be a robot translating words. Be a parrot.
Yeah, copy, imitate, and then little by little, it becomes natural.
Perfect.
So, Emily, let's continue. I think stories are powerful for showing how dangerous literal translation can be.
Absolutely. Let me share one. A friend of mine from Japan once told me a funny story. He wanted to say, I'm full after eating dinner. But in Japanese, the direct translation is something like, my stomach is exploding.
Oh, wow. That must have been shocking for the people at the table.
Exactly. Everyone looked at him like, are you okay? Do we need to call a doctor?
That's a perfect example. Literal translation often creates funny or awkward moments.
And sometimes it creates misunderstandings. For instance, in Portuguese, people say, give me a touch to mean, call me. But if you translate that literally into English, it sounds very strange.
Yeah, imagine saying to someone, give me a touch. People will probably think you're being way too personal.
Right. So the real English phrase is, give me a call, or maybe hit me up.
Exactly. That's why I always tell students, focus on meaning, not words.
Let's make this practical for our listeners. Maybe we can create a mini challenge.
Oh, I like that. Okay, here's the challenge. For the next 24 hours, every time you want to say something in English, don't start from your language. Instead, try to remember if you've heard it in English before.
Yes. And if you don't know the exact phrase, simplify. Say it in easier English, but don't translate directly.
For example, if you want to say, it slipped my mind, but you don't know that phrase yet, just say, I forgot. It's not perfect, but it's natural.
Exactly. That way, you're not depending on translation.
And here's another mini tip. Watch TV shows with subtitles in English, not your language.
Yes. Because then you connect sound with meaning without passing through your native language.
Right. I remember when I watched Friends in Spanish subtitles. At first, I translated in my head. But when I switched to English subtitles, my brain adjusted and I started learning the actual phrases.
And Friends is great for that because it's full of expressions people really use.
True. And humor makes it easier to remember.
Speaking of humor, do you want to hear another funny translation story?
Of course.
Okay. A student once wanted to say in English, I'm constipated, meaning I have a cold, I can't breathe well. But in English, constipated means something very different.
Oh, no. That must have been embarrassing.
Yeah, everyone started laughing and the poor student was so confused. That's why it's so important to learn the right meaning in context.
Exactly. And listeners, we're not telling these stories to make fun of mistakes. We're telling them so you remember translation can trick you.
Yes, and honestly, these mistakes are part of learning. You shouldn't feel bad. Just laugh and keep going.
100%. Mistakes are proof that you're practicing.
So, if we had to summarize, translating word for word is like trying to wear shoes that don't fit. You can walk, but it's uncomfortable and everyone notices.
That's a great metaphor. And when you learn phrases, you're basically putting on the right size shoes.
Exactly. Comfortable, natural, ready to go.
Perfect. And before we finish, let's review some useful vocabulary we used today.
Okay, let's review 12 useful words and expressions from today's episode.
Great. Number 1, literal translation. That means translating word by word without changing the structure. For example, you are missing to me instead of I miss you.
Number 2, expression. An expression is a phrase that has a special meaning, like, it's raining cats and dogs.
Number 3, embarrassed. This means you feel shy or uncomfortable. Example, I felt embarrassed when I forgot her name.
Number 4, pregnant. This means a woman is expecting a baby. Important to remember it's very different from embarrassed.
Number 5, shadowing. That's when you listen to someone speaking and repeat immediately, like an echo. Example, I shadowed a podcast to practice pronunciation.
Number 6, awkward. This means uncomfortable or strange. Example, it was awkward when no one laughed at my joke.
Number 7, breakthrough. A big positive change or discovery. Example, when I started thinking in English, it was a breakthrough moment.
Number 8, hit me up. That's an informal way to say, contact me. Example, hit me up this weekend if you want to hang out.
Number 9, slip my mind. That means to forget something. Example, sorry, your birthday slipped my mind.
Number 11, constipated. In English, this means you can't go to the bathroom easily, not the same as having a cold.
Number 11, to adjust. To change so something fits better. Example, I had to adjust my schedule when I started a new job.
Number 12, metaphor. A way to describe something by comparing it. Example, learning English is a marathon, not a sprint.
Excellent. That's our vocabulary review.
Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end of episode 19 of the English Level Up podcast.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and download the free document we mentioned. It's your unbeatable plan for improving your English fast.
And of course, join us tomorrow for another daily episode.
See you tomorrow, and keep leveling up your English.